Many of you know who Steve Jobs is, however, don't know his story. Even as you're sitting here right now, you may be looking at your iPhone or even on a Mac computer. This wouldn't be possible without the knowledge that Steve Jobs had. My dad has always looked up to Steve Jobs and even had the pleasure of working for a successful company, so giving credit to everything that he has done is more than necessary for me personally. Many take for granted the advances of technology, but it most likely wouldn't be what it is today without Steve Jobs. I'll be sharing with you a little background on Steve, his struggles throughout his career, and lastly I'll talk about his success. Every successful individual usually has quite the story on how they got there. Steve Jobs was born on February 24th, 1955 in the city of San Francisco. His biological mother was an unwed graduate student named Joanne Simpson, and his biological father was a political science or mathematics professor, a native Syrian. Steve was put up for adoption, but his mother insisted that the parents be just as well educated as she was. The adoptive parents didn't meet her expectations, but she agreed to have her baby adopted by them, only on the condition that they sent him to college. Steve advanced before others his age in school and was bullied for that. He told his parents that he was to either be transferred to another school or he would stop going to school altogether. His parents switched him to Homestead High School, where he enrolled in a popular electronics class. This school was very important to his career, and he didn't even know it yet. He not only met Bill Fernandez, but was also introduced to Steve Wozniak. From then on, the two paired up and created one of the greatest companies, Apple. So now that I've told you about Steve Jobs' past, let's take a look at the struggles he faced. With all the success an individual may have, there comes many struggles. Although Steve had so much success, his temper was quite a problem. He apparently kept meetings running past midnight and then called new meetings at 7 a.m. Due to these problems happening over and over again, Apple's board removed Jobs from his managerial duties as head of the Macintosh division. After looking at some of the struggles that he faced, let's look at his success. Clearly, Steve Jobs made Apple a successful company, but here are some other companies he had a great influence on. Jobs founded Next Computer in 1985 with $7 million. In 1986, Jobs bought the graphics group, which was later named Pixar, from Lucasfilm's computer graphics division for the price of $10 million. Although Steve was fired from Apple, he was welcomed back to the company after Apple bought Next for $427 million. The wise words of the successful man himself, Steve Jobs said, "We started out to get a computer in the hands of everyday people, and we succeeded beyond our wildest dreams." This 4-minute speech is not enough time to pay tribute to how successful Steve Jobs was and how much of an impact he left on this world. It, however, was a great start. Many take for granted the advantages of technology, but it most likely wouldn't be what it is today without Steve Jobs. Today I've shared with you some background on him, the struggles he had throughout his career, and how successful he was. Steve Jobs was more than just an inventor. He brought a completely different idea to the technology world. When you look at an Apple product, think about how much knowledge that little piece took to make.